So you go to Texas, obviously win the Heisman. But a dope story that I heard I thought was classic was that the first time you smoked weed, the next 2 games you rushed for over 300 yards.
It wasn't the first time. It was the first time that I really noticed that there was something to it. Because I grew up in San Diego, and people, it's like that culture. So it was around. I was around it, and then I got to college, and on Friday nights when my teammates were shooting dice, they were passing blunts around. So I just tried to be cool with them until I hit it a little bit. But yeah, I just go home and go to sleep. But my senior year, I came back from my senior year and just had a bad 2 weeks. Just a really personal stuff, football stuff. And I just was thinking, my attitude was so bad. I was just thinking, why did I come back for this? I was like, I just imagining being in the league and just feeling sorry for myself. Yeah. And my roommate was like, you need to chill. So he was a smoker. So he slid his bong over and I took 2 hits. Coughed and went upstairs, and I remember laying down, and it was the first I noticed it was the first time in 2 weeks I wasn't obsessing about all the bad stuff. And my mind started thinking about, okay, we got practice tomorrow. Like, what am I gonna do to get back on track? And so I had a wonderful week of practice, and that next game I think I had 312. The following week I had 350. And I was back in the Heisman Trophy race.
I retired 5 years ago, and I haven't ran for 300 yards.
I was supposed to say, first of all, who runs for 300 yards?
I haven't ran 300 yards since I retired.
Who runs? That's some mad. Who runs for 300 yards, bro?
350.
350. That's crazy. Yeah. I literally, and this is something that I recognize because I know your history and I know your story. And I was doing the interview just now and I had the helmet on, and I remember speaking back, you used to do the interview with the helmet on.
With that same face mask and that same visor. That's why I was like,
that's crazy. And it was no point intended, but then I started thinking about it as we were talking that you used to do the interviews with your
That's why I thought you was doing it at the beginning.
No, man, I'm a fan. That's how I was doing it.
But that's being a fan, because that's what I used to do.
But he used to do that. As I was interviewing you with it on, I thought about it. I was like, he used to do his interviews with his helmet on.
Yeah.
And I'm big on mental health. We actually just had a mental health summit and teen suicide prevention summit with my foundation. So I'm big on mental health. But just talk about when you used to do the interviews with your helmet on, and just the whole thought process of being who you are on the football field and being able to just exercise that side of yourself. But then when you get into interviews, it's not as easy to exercise that side of yourself. Because if I'm not mistaken, the reason why you kept the helmet on was because I guess it was a little bit uncomfortable at first, maybe, or what was the thing?
So I mean, it's part of that, but it was more of I was rebelling against the way the media was treating me as an athlete. Because I'm the kind of person, I was good enough early enough that I could do what I wanted to do. It's like most big-time college athletes.
Yeah, you know that, killer. You know how it goes.
And so, exactly. And so I got to the league, and I thought it was supposed to be the same way. I traded all these picks for me. I'm number 1 pick. So I was just being myself. And the media started calling me weird, and it just got twisted. And for me, it was kind of shocking, because the same behavior that had people throwing flowers and praising me in college, when I go to the next level, that same behavior gets me kind of ostracized.
Okay.
And so my whole thing was, the media wants to portray me as their idea of what a football player is. That's not who I am, so I'm not going to play this game.
Okay.
And so I felt like the only freedom I had, because in the NFL, they say you have to talk to the media. And so for me, just anyone tells me I have to do something, even if I want to do it, right? I have this part of me that comes up and says, I'm going to do it my way at least.
Yeah.
So the only freedom I had to express my individuality was my rebellion of putting a helmet on. And it gave me a chance, because the media would ask me, why do you have a helmet on? And I said, because when you talk about me and you ask me questions, you're only asking the part of me that wears a helmet. The part of me under the helmet you really don't care about, but you want me to pretend like you do by taking my helmet off. So, and that was part of the social anxiety, because, like I said, when I went to college, I was looking for a family kind of atmosphere, because that's where I thrive. But an atmosphere where, I don't feel like that, then I don't really want to be there. And so much of my early career, I didn't want to be there, because it didn't feel right. I love being on the field, right? Because then you get the family stuff. But in the NFL, you guys, or at least in football, in college, it's like a family. But you go to the league, and especially the rookie that got all this money and all these picks, it's like they weren't really messing with me. Yeah. And so it wasn't until I got traded here, I got traded to Miami, that I felt that family feel again. And I killed it that first year.
Oh, yeah. Listen, let me tell you something, boy. The city was on fire.
Yeah.
Boy, the city was on fire. You couldn't tell us nothing when we got Ricky Williams, boy. We didn't know we was going to run your ass in the ground like that.
Yeah.
God damn, I was sitting at home like, all right, coach, just pass them up once or twice. Like, they got 9 in the box. You going to give it to them again.